Welcome back to Sarita's Garden. It is the end of December 2025, and I'm going to give you a little walkabout with the papayas. So this is on the west side of our property. We've had this planted for a couple years now, and it's just now fruiting this year. This is a seedling. I don't know which one it is, but it's either Red Lady or No New One. So Red Lady is a big red fleshed papaya, and No New One is a large yellow fleshed papaya. And I saved seeds from both, and I have just planted them. So I don't know which it is. You will find out when it's fruited, whether it's more red or whether it's more yellow. So that's this one here, and then we'll come around into here. This is a new variety for us. There's one fruit. Bug. One fruit on the back here I'm looking into the sun, so I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So there are all the leaves up top. This is, I know the variety of this one. This one is the Tainung number 2. So I bought these seeds, and I started the seeds about a year and a third ago. I put the seeds in pots, and then I transferred them out here into the yard. And so it's been about a year to get to the fruiting process from seed. It was about a year and 3 months, because I ordered the seeds in August of 24. So I know I planted them pretty close to when I got them. Okay, this one in here, so there's the trunk. If you follow the trunk up, aha, you see the fruits? Okay, and then there's the leaves. So this is a seedling from the No New One variety that I saved, because you can see, well, no, that doesn't make any sense, Sarah, because you can't tell from the outside. So this one is starting to ripen on the left there. That's a little bit yellow. And this one we've had a lot of trouble with pests. And maybe the wasp or the fruit fly or whatever it is that bothers papaya so much in Florida. But we did just recently have a fruit off of this plant. Papayas are not trees. They're like bananas. They're plants, herbaceous plants, not a tree. It was really good. So, and it really didn't get bothered by the pests. So I have a feeling that's the time of year when it gets into like spring and summer, the fruits are just getting massacred by this pest. So, bees, bees and things flying around. So anyway, I have energized my hope about that one. Okay, let's now look at this one. This one is so tall. Okay, so there's the trunk. Follow it up. There's some fruit. And wow, look at those leaves. All right, so this is on the south side. We did have a papaya planted over here the year before, kind of out in front a little bit more here. I know you don't really know what I mean, but just further forward towards me, and it blew down all the time in the wind. So I tucked this one way further back in next to the calendula, which is behind there. And so anyway, this is also the new Tainung number 2 variety. This variety, as I may or may not have already mentioned, we got from Aloha Seed Catalog. I heard this was a really nice variety, did well in Florida, so I purchased a package of 10 seeds, and we've been giving it a go. There are a lot of places in our yard where you will never see papaya plants because it is too wet. So this is a wet area. You'll never see them here because we have too much standing water, and they die very quickly. I had planted a bunch of papayas up the northern part of our property when we first moved here, and they all died. Yep, dead. So now we plant them in the high and dry areas because we learned our lesson. Okay, here we go. Another Tainung number 2, and this one has one fruit here on the right. I just think those leaves are so pretty. Okay, so you'll see sometimes that they're going to drop fruit if they're not, whatever. That happens. So nothing to be alarmed about or concerned about. Over here, we had a seedling. So this was from a couple years ago, right? This was like the prior crop. The ones I'm showing you, the Tainung number 2, that's our second planting crop that we planted in 2024. This one we planted in 2023. So this was a seedling. It turned out to be a seedling of Red Lady because it had a red flesh. We called it the leaning papaya. Like it went way up and it had massive amounts of fruit last year. And then it produced a ton of fruit this year, and then the tree snapped under the weight of the fruit because it was leaning, fell, and damaged our avocado. So sad. So that's what you can see, though, is that they grow back. And it's kind of an interesting thing I've watched about how people who don't want their papayas to be so tall because they're having trouble harvesting that tall, you can cut it back. And you do have to be a little bit mindful of like if this kind of rots out at the opening, because that could happen. So they've suggested stuffing plastic bags or things in there to keep some of the water out. But anyway, you'll get all these branches and sprouts that will come out, and you'll see this in action because the next one over has this happening. All right, so you see I did stuff plastic bags into there. That's where I cut it last year. This was a seedling that I planted in 2023. So again, seed I saved from fruit. And you can see basically there's like 2 main branches, a huge one on the right and a smaller one on the left, and then some skinny ones kind of on the back. But lots of fruit. Nothing has ripened yet. Something's trying to get this one. I don't know with the light if you can see all those scrapes. We have had a little bit of trouble with some pests this year. And maybe I've been leaving them on too long when they're ripened, but you can see clearly that's not ripened. That's pretty green. I'm not sure, but somebody who's got some claws. Okay, let's continue. These 2 we planted. Okay, so this is the first one, and then just beyond it, this is the second one, but there is a cassava in the middle, not to be confused. These are also Tainung number 2. We planted these in kind of this like breezeway area between the house and the shed. And I didn't know if this would be like a wind tunnel, but it's worked out to be really good actually. So there's a lot of fruit on this one here that you see on the left. The one on the right, it's a little bit further down. This one has made tons of fruit. So, and we've eaten several. Okay, so let me just give you what's going on here. All right, it's funny. It's kind of a short tree. I don't know what happened. It's like sort of really not like doing anything on the top anymore. I don't know. Maybe that's as many fruit it's going to make this season. You can see the plastic bag. I put that around because this particular plant has been getting bothered by a pest when it's ripening. It bit into it, dug into a really big, beautiful, nice fruit that we had here. That did not make me very happy. I mean, I know we're trying to plant extra for animals and neighbors and such, but when you have a beautiful big papaya, the first biggest, roundest one of the season, just a little bit discouraging. So I'm bagging it and I'm tying it and I'm trying to keep the pests away from it. Tainung number 2. And let's move along. Okay, we're nearly done. What I want to mention is no papayas planted in here, too wet. Way too wet in there where the bananas are. This one fell over. This is a seedling, and we now know, because one of them just ripened, that this is the yellow flesh variety. And let's get up in there. So you can see that one is lightening up. We did just take one off here. Brad took one off because there was like a bite in it. And it wasn't really that ripe yet, so somebody was getting a little hungry. So these are kind of like a little bit irregular shaped, but we do know, and this one fell off when Brad was harvesting the other one. It's fine. You can make things with green papaya. We just haven't done that, but you can shred it like carrots or zucchini and make salads. I think it's something typically used in Thai cuisine. Okay, Ooh, we have a really pretty zebra longwing butterfly, which might not be likely to get on camera, but just wanted to mention it in case it flew by. That's our jackfruit. Okay, and then the very last papaya coming along here. Dun, 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 dun. This is one that was growing next to the house, and it wasn't getting any sun. And I said, well, I've heard papayas do not like to be moved because they have a long taproot, but I thought, well, if it dies, it dies. So I dug it up, and I moved it up here to the driveway, and it's flowering. So that's cool. Let's show you those little flowers in there. Aren't those pretty? Yeah, so that's where the fruit will come eventually. Possibly. Thanks for watching Sarita's Garden, all about papayas today. See you next time.